that there might be some sort of disintegration of the European Union, not so much by separation, because even assuming that Greece stays in the Eurozone, that UK stays in the European Union, it is practically in all countries that there is a growing detachment between the people and the governments. And governments, national governments, are led more and more to adopt a very short-term horizon. They no longer look at an horizon of many years to make their decisions. They are short-termists. And the debate itself is dominated by media and modalities that make it easier to make quick statements, which usually are best made by the nationalists or populist movements and protectionism. And if you want to argue against this, it takes you a long time to explain your argument. So there is a comparative disadvantage, a growing comparative disadvantage of the cause for integration versus the cause for closeness, nationalism, protectionism. The real problem is that the most political body of all, which is the Council, in particular the European Council, with all the heads of governments, is the reflection of this cacophony, this bad functioning of 28 short-term political interests, which have very, very little to do with the European interests. A trend of democracy, one might call it a degeneration of democracy towards followership, no longer leadership. The politicians fight to get better positions in the opinion polls than, of course, in the elections, but already in the very short term in opinion polls. And therefore, to act in the common interest of the European Union is not something that allows you to win consensus in the short term. And therefore, there is the risk of a disintegration. There would be nevertheless some political instability in Europe, because by accepting this very, very special, unconventional negotiation with the UK, the other 27 have put in place a big and dangerous precedent, because tomorrow any other country might consider it legitimate and natural to ask for a repositioning of
the treaty.
I was particularly stringent and strict on the transparency of the cabinet and of each minister, and of course the prime minister. And I asked the whole government to post on the site, on the website, all the detailed information concerning their assets, not only their income. Also in such a way that it could be compared between the beginning of the mandate and the end, where there had been strange enrichments. Strongly reinforced the instruments against tax evasion. I would have been very, very tough in such a case.
By tough, you would have told probably the minister to resign. Hypothetically, I mean.
I believe that if the fact had been established, probably that minister would have asked to leave the government. 20 years' time is a long enough period that perhaps there will have been an acceleration of the present crisis, maybe some shocks with some countries leaving the project, I hope not, but it may happen.
You think there will be more countries that would be interested to?
As I said, should the UK leave us, or even if it does not, there will be some temptation to imitate on the part of some others. But on the other hand, I think that the imperative for having a European Union and a strong European Union is such that the thing will be reborn, restructured, reinforced, but it will become very, very evident economically and politically that there has to be European integration.